The HOA standoff. You move to a quiet suburb, hoping for peace, only to have your neighbors near. Some of us worked our whole lives to live here, not to look at that, her eyes stabbing at your wife's powerful frame as she stretches in your front yard. That was Helen, the HOA tyrant of Pineview Estates, whose racism turned our home into a battleground, sparking a showdown that ended with her in cuffs and a community in upheaval. But the real question lingers: did we push too far to crush her hate, or was it the only way to reclaim our place? This is the story of how a morning workout became a war, and how justice came at a cost I'm still weighing. My wife, Vanessa, and I chose Pineview for its promise of community lawns, white fences, kids' bikes scattered like confetti. I'm Maka State, a carpenter who crafts off-grid cabins, hands deep in wood and nails, craving a simple life. Vanessa, a Black Navy instructor with a decade of service, trains elite warriors with a discipline that's both fierce and graceful. Her morning workouts are a ritual, a carryover from her military days, and watching her move muscles rippling, breath steadies like seeing art in motion. She wanted a home to garden, cook, and escape the intensity of her job. Pineview seemed perfect, with neighbors like the Hendersons, who brought us peach jam, and the Garcias, whose kids apologized when their soccer ball sailed into our yard. But Helen, across the street, was a storm brewing. Her first jab came a week in, her pearls gleaming, her voice syrupy but sharp as she watched Vanessa stretch. "We have standards," she said, her smile cold. A note appeared on our door days later, typed on HOA letterhead: outdoor exercise equipment visible. Unacceptable. No signature, but Helen's venom was unmistakable. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. "She's not just a busybody," she said, sipping tea. "She's marking us." I wanted to brush it off, keep work stress out, but Helen's hate was a splinter under our skin. Her campaign kicked into gear. Every morning, Helen emerged with a clipboard and a neon measuring tape, inspecting our garbage can 19 inches from the curb, one shy of our sacred 20. She snapped photos of our car, our mailbox, Vanessa's resistance bands in the garage, turning harassment into a performance. Vanessa matched her, military style, setting up a phone to record Helen's talking, capturing hours of her crouching behind cars, binoculars glinting. It was absurd, almost funny, until it wasn't. Helen rallied allies the Wilsons, who started smacking too much, and Frank, a grump who once chewed out a kid for trampling his grass. They pushed an emergency HOA meeting to address community standards. Vanessa's footage caught Helen coaching them, scripting complaints to paint us as outsiders. The meeting, in a fluorescent-lit community center, was a circus. Helen stood like a prosecutor, flashing photos of our garbage can, our car, Vanessa's workouts. The Tates failed to integrate, she purred, her voice dripping with fake concern. Their behavior threatens our values. I stood, hands shaking but voice steady. We've followed every rule. This is our home. Vanessa sat, eyes scanning, noting who nodded with Helen, who squirmed. The vote 8-7, 3 abstentions slapped us with a warning: comply or face fines, maybe lawsuits. Neighbors whispered apologies as we left, but their silence in the room stung. Helen's smug grin said she wasn't done. The next morning, Helen was back, measuring our garbage can, smacking. "Just checking compliance, Marcus," she chirped. Vanessa appeared, her touch on my arm a signal. She was logging it all. That night, she set up a second phone, hidden, recording from our window. "Let her come," she said, her voice low, soldier waking. Saturday dawned crisp, Vanessa in the yard by 6 a.m., her workout a ballet of power pull-ups, push-ups, resistance bands humming. I watched from my workshop, pride swelling, until I saw Helen's curtain twitch, phone to her ear, eyes gleaming with malice. I didn't know she'd just made the call that would change everything. The 9/11 recording, later obtained, still chills me. "There's a suspicious person in Pineview, doing military training in her yard," Helen quavered. She's not from here. I'm scared she's planning something dangerous. Sirens started faint, then screamed, red and blue lights flooding our street. I ran out, barefoot, as Officer James Carter, a burly cop with a trigger-happy stance, drew his gun on Vanessa. Hands up, he bellowed. She froze mid-stretch, bounds falling, arms rising slow, her face calm but eyes calculating. I shouted her name, lunging forward, only to stare down Carter's barrel. Stay back or I shoot, he roared. My heart pounded, time stretching like a nightmare. Helen swooped in, bathrobe flapping, playing the terrified neighbor. Thank God you're here, officer, she gasped. She's training for combat, intimidating us. Carter, gun still on Vanessa, backed, what are you preparing for? Vanessa's voice was still, exercising on my property, sir. It's my routine. Helen piled on, she does this every morning, like she's planning violence. Carter rifled through Vanessa's gearbands, a towel, a water bottle finding nothing, his frustration growing. Neighbors gawked, some in pajamas, clutching coffee, not helping, just watching. 2 more cruisers arrived, lights flashing, as Carter radioed, possible domestic terrorism training. Subject has military skills. Helen's eyes lit up, savoring her win. Vanessa caught my eye, her note subtle but clear, time to act. Officer, she said, voice cutting through, I need to contact Captain Robert Hayes, Naval Special Warfare. Carter blinked, gun wavering. You're what? Sergeant Vanessa Tate, she said. I train Navy warriors. She called Hayes on speaker, his voice booming, why is my instructor detained? Carter stammered, citing the call. Hayes snapped, standard Navy training isn't a threat. Explain yourself. A Navy staff car rolled up, no sirens. Captain Hayes stepped out, uniform gleaming, a granite figure exuding command. Neighbors straightened, Carter's gun dropped. Why is my sergeant in cuffs? Hayes demanded. Carter fumbled, mentioning Helen's call. Hayes reviewed Carter's body cam, then Helen's phone, her doctored clips framing Vanessa's workouts as combat training. He tossed it back, voice cold, I see a decorated soldier staying fit. Your fear says more about you. Vanessa spoke, calm but lethal, I've documented her harassment videos, audio, HOA notices targeting us for our race. She handed over a drive, Helen's binoculars, her slurs about these people, her coaching allies. Hayes' face tightened. This is a false report, racially driven. Helen shrieked, she's lying. She doesn't belong. Hayes silenced her, you're interfering with military personnel. That's federal. His team dug deeper, uncovering Helen's brother, a former HOA president ousted for targeting minorities. Helen had fined a family for a wrong dog collar, seeked animal control on Latinos families who left under pressure. Neighbors, once silent, confessed Helen's coercion. Her phone revealed texts plotting to drive out the Tates, plus bribes to Carter, who reported them. Charges piled up, false reporting, harassment, racial intimidation, attempted bribery. The final HOA meeting was a reckoning. Packed with residents, Helen and her lawyer, a sleek ambulance chaser, claimed military overreach. Vanessa stood, her evidence projected, videos of Helen stalking, audio of her slurs, neighbor testimonies. Hayes testified, detailing her federal violations, including bribing Carter. The room turned, neighbors shook their heads, Helen's allies abandoned her. The vote to oust her and bar her family was unanimous. She ranted about conspiracies, but security dragged her out, her lawyer trailing. Her house hit the market, movers clearing it as she faced years in prison and HOA lawsuits. Pineview shifted, neighbors apologized, new policies banned discrimination. Vanessa taught self-defense, her workouts a community draw, kids waving, fear gone. Our driveway became a food drive hub, turning Helen's lie into good. But as I watched Vanessa lead a class, I wrestled with it. Her surgical takedown crushed Helen, but did it go too far, shattering a family? Or was exposing her hate the only way to stop it? If your home became a war zone, would you fight like us or walk away? Drop a comment, share your take. Let's talk.